Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Empowering Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering Others to Excel with your host, Jacqueline Job.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, your empowerment strategist, Jacqueline Jobs from Empowering Others to Excel. We are live today on WMEG Radio, Facebook, and YouTube, and probably Instagram. Sometimes we had some issue with Instagram. But I thank you for tuning in this morning. I hope you all are doing well. If you have not subscribed or liked my YouTube page or Facebook page, do that now, please. Go over to YouTube, go over to Facebook, Instagram, subscribe and like. I thank you for the support. We're going to dive into our topics today. I want to give a shout out to DJ Rock. Good morning, DJ Rock. Good morning, DJ Rock. And give a disclaimer. I am not a therapist. I am a certified life coach. I am here to guide you towards personal and professional growth through actionable plans and strategies. So people ask me, are you a therapist? No, I'm not a therapist. I am a life coach. I am here to empower you. I am here to uplift, motivate you. I am here to be your accountability partner, help you to move from one level to the next. I want to see your growth. So that is what I am here for. So once again, I thank you for tuning in today. Our topic for today is From Survivor to Thriver, finding strength in what you overcame. That is our topic for today. But we're going to recap. I see you, DJ Rock. Good morning. We're going to recap our topic from last week. Our topic from last week was healing from what you don't talk about, the importance of addressing and processing emotional wounds. So last week when we were talking about healing from what you don't talk about, it was basically the silence of you sitting in that silence. It is traumatizing sitting in the silence. You have already been through something, but now you are actually sitting and being silent about it. And when you're being silent, you're not allowing yourself to heal. So we talked about finding a safe space, people that you trust to have those communications with, have those conversations with, and allow the healing process to begin. Do not sit on it. Do not stay silent. You need to speak up in order for the healing process to begin. But just remember this, you're not just speaking to anybody. It has to be somebody that you trust, somebody who is able to keep your confidence. That's number one. They have to be able to keep your confidence. So if you're going to just share it with every and anybody, that's not a good thing. You need to be able to find somebody who's able to keep your confidence and you can share those intimate details with. And then they'll be able to help you to process those details. And then the healing can begin from there. So find a safe space, somebody who you trust, and then have those conversations. So that was what we talked about last week, healing from what you don't talk about. So now we're going to move on to today. Today is a very interesting topic. From survivor to thriver, finding strength in what you overcome or what you overcame. Now, normally I don't give an objective, but I decided to do an objective for today. Identify past challenges that you've overcome, recognize the strengths they gain, learn how to apply those strengths to current or future goals. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to do one housekeeping. And then we're going to move on. Because this is something that everybody, some people be like, well, I didn't go through anything traumatizing, but you had been through some kind of situation in your life where you was like, really, this is happening now. Like, why is this happening? I don't understand it. And that situation has caused you to doubt yourself. That situation has caused you to feel some type of pain, hurt, and it may have caused a delay in something that you were actually trying to progress in. So I want you to be able to think about that. Think about that situation. Think about that situation. All right, we should be good now. I want you to be able to think about that situation. And then we're going to process that situation from survivor to thriver, finding strength in what you overcome. Now, everybody has faced battles. Some were seen, some were not seen. But we all have gone through battles. Today, we're going to go through and we're going to help you shift your identity from someone who just got through it. I just got through it. To someone who was stronger because of it. And a lot of times we say, "Oh, you know what? I just made my way through it. What they say, I faked it until I made it." Yeah. So that's what they say. So now we're going to not fake it, but we're going to actually make it. So if you're in that stage in your life where you're tired of faking it, can they say fake it till you make it? And you're tired of faking it and you want to say, I've actually made it, today is the session for you, because we're going to be talking about from survivor to thriver. And with this, we're going to be talking about different mindsets. We're going to be talking about different mindsets, but I want to leave this question with you. In one word, how would you describe yourself at your strongest? How would you describe yourself at your strongest? Now, we can all describe ourselves at our weakest, but how can you describe yourself at your strongest? Like, what are those characteristics when you're at your strongest? When you're at your strongest, are you motivated? Are you inspired? How are you when you're at your strongest? Some people say I'm overstimulated. That's why I can do what I need to do. So how are you? Describe how you are at your strongest. Like, are you in fight mode? Are you just ready to feel as though you can conquer the world? How are you at your strongest? I want you to think about that. Think about that. Now, we're going to dive into different mindsets. We're going to dive into different mindsets before we actually get to the survivor and the thriver aspect, because you need to be able to identify where you are. Self-awareness is a major part of moving forward. You have to be aware of yourself. You should be able to be aware of identifying your morals, your values, your beliefs, things that you like, things that you dislike. So you need to be able to identify them, be aware of them, be able to state them, even your own characteristics. How would you describe yourself? You need to be able to identify who you are. And in that process, we need to be able to know our mindsets. Do we have a fixed mindset, or do we have a growth mindset? So we're going to talk about that a little bit, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Now, a person with a fixed mindset, they're the ones that believe that abilities, intelligence, or talents are set in stone. So that means whatever you were born with, that's what you have. You are not going any further. Those who have a fixed mindset believe that. They believe their abilities, intelligence, talents are set in stone. Either you're born with it or you're not. The people who have fixed mindset avoid challenges. They avoid challenges because they fear failure will expose their limitations. So while I'm talking about fixed mindset, growth mindset, I just want you to stop and think, which one do you have? Which one do you have? Once again, fixed mindset. The people who have a fixed mindset believe abilities, intelligence, and talents are set in stone. You are born with them or you're not. And they also avoid challenges because they fear their failures are going to expose their limitations. When people who make mistakes, who have a fixed mindset, when they have a big mistake, they always go, see, I wasn't good enough. That's a fixed mindset. I wasn't good enough. I don't even know why I tried. So they just give up easily, or they don't even try it to begin with. I want you to think about that. When you're in a fixed mindset, it keeps you stuck in survival mode. You avoid growth. You always try to stay safe, and you keep repeating patterns over and over again. So when you are in a fixed mindset, you stay in survival mode. So just think about that. Now we're going to talk about growth mindset. Now I'm just touching on this very briefly. I'm touching on it very, very briefly. Growth mindset. A person with a growth mindset believes that abilities, intelligence can be developed with effort. You can continue to learn, you can continue to grow. It's not something that, oh, I have this talent, I was born with it, that's it. No, if you want to go out here and learn how to play a violin, guess what? Go play a violin, go learn. That's what's a growth mindset. A growth mindset is basically saying, I can do anything I put my mind to. The sky is the limit. Those are people who have growth mindsets. That is how they think. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to try to tackle this because I thought about this thing and I was like, I think I'm really good at this. So I'm going to try that. That's a growth mindset. Growth mindset, you're not afraid to go and try new things. You're not afraid of failing at something, because when you fail at something, you're growing because you're able to identify what caused you to fail. Whatever the mistakes were, whatever skills and talents you were lacking, you'll be able to identify that. And then from there, you can grow. How are you going to grow? Because you might say, I still want to accomplish this task. But then you're going to stop and think, so what do I need to do to accomplish this task? I tried it before and I tried it this way and it didn't work. Why didn't it work? So now that you see why it didn't work, you're going to go back and you're going to try it another way. So that means if you have to increase your knowledge on a certain topic or on a certain skill, you're going to do that to be able to accomplish that task. That is a growth mindset. Growth mindset is, I'm not going to let these things stop me. I am going to figure it out and I'm going to get that thing that I am trying to obtain. So I want you to think about it. What do you have? Do you have fixed mindset where you're stuck where you are? You're not going to really try. You're going to stay inside your box or your bubble, inside of your comfort zone. And you're like, the world is out there. Everybody else is doing this. I'm going to stay right here because I'm safe here. I'm comfortable right here. At least I know what's going on right here inside of my bubble. Or do you have that growth mindset where I want to be able to go out there and try this? I want to have conversations with those people. I'm not going to stay stuck in my bubble. I'm going to go and I'm going to reach for the stars. I'm going to try to set this goal and try to accomplish it. Yes, I might fail. Yes, I might stumble along the way, might not know some things. But guess what? I am trying. And the fact that I'm trying, that's a plus. And then whatever I don't know, guess what? I'm going to ask somebody to help me along the way. I'm going to seek out the knowledge that I need in order to continue on this path that I have set for myself. That is a growth mindset. So I want you to think, do you have a fixed mindset or do you have a growth mindset? And then with these, a growth mindset opens doors. A growth mindset opens doors to the thriving. It builds your resilience. It builds your confidence. And then there's always continued growth with a growth mindset. And you're like, it should be. It's called a growth mindset. That means you're always growing. Fixed mindset, it's stuck. That's just, think about interest rates. You have your fixed interest rate. It's not changing. Whatever that interest rate they gave you, that's what it's going to be. It's not changing. So that's the same thing with a fixed mindset. It's not changing. But if you have that growth mindset, it's going to grow. It's going to evolve. So think about, which mindset do I have? Which mindset do I want to have? Because you don't have to stay where you are. So if you realize right now, oh my goodness, I have a fixed mindset, but I want the growth mindset. You don't have to stay in the fixed mindset. You can move over to the growth mindset. You just have to change your thinking about things. And when I say change your thinking, that's go back to some of the sessions that we already had. Don't let your mistakes stop you. Don't let your past hold you back. You need to identify the things in the past that caused you to stop, that caused you to fear, that caused you to think less of yourself. Identify what those things are, or identify what it is that you think is holding you back. And once you identify it, then I want you to put some plans in action as to how you're going to grow, how you're going to move from that position that you are in right now. And how are you going to move to the next level? What things do you need to put in place to get you to move? What things do you need to put in place? And then once you finish identifying those things that you need, start working on them. Little by little, start working on them. No, you're not going to try to tackle them all at the same time. You're not going to try to tackle them all at the same time, because then you're going to become overwhelmed. You're going to get frustrated. Pick one, work on it. And then once you finish that, then you go to the next. So those are some things that I want you to think about. Now, I had put in the chat earlier, I'm not sure if it's still there, because we're going to be talking about a strength mapping activity. And I put it in the chat for those who are able to download it to go and download the worksheet. So that way you can work on it with us. It's not coming up yet, but I will let you know when it's coming up. So that way, if you want to, you can go ahead and download that worksheet, and then we can work through it together. So now, this is how you remember fixed mindset, growth mindset. Fixed mindset, I can't change who I am. That's a fixed mindset. Growth mindset, I can learn and grow into who I want to be. Fixed mindset, I can't change who I am. Growth mindset, I can learn and grow into who I want to be. So I want you to think about that. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Okay, so now we're getting into the topic for today. Survivor mindset versus thriver mindset. Survivor mindset versus thriver mindset. We're going to get into that topic. Now, a survivor mindset, those individuals focus on enduring, making it through, and it's often tied to their past. So a survivor, if you're surviving, you're trying to survive, you're out in the middle of the ocean and you're just floating on a kayak and you're trying to survive. At that moment, how do you think that person is feeling? That person is not out there going, I'm going to grow from this. I got this. No, that person is thinking, what can I do right now in this moment that is going to help me live? What can I do? That's what they're thinking. So they're not in I see this as a very big picture. No, it's, I need to live. I want to live. What do I need to do at this moment? So I'm sitting out here. I'm in this kayak. I'm in the middle of the ocean. What can I do? I need to survive. So that is what they're focusing on at that moment. So for the survivor mindset, you're just trying to make it through, make it one day to the next. That is the survivor mindset. Growth, the thriver mindset, they're focusing on growth, possibility, using a lesson learned to fuel their future. So a growth mindset is, once you get rescued from off of that kayak, are you going to still stay in that space of, I need to just make it one day to the next? Like, this just happened to me. I fell off my cruise ship, or I got stranded in this kayak. I've been out here for a couple of days. I finally got rescued. And now I'm still stuck in that mentality of, I need to survive. That is what happens to a lot of people. Something happens in their life where they're in the survival mode. I'm in this mode where I just need to survive. But even once that trauma, that situation has passed, they stay stuck in that survivor mode. This is what I need to do to survive. But they're not realizing that that situation has passed now. So now we need to move on from just surviving, and we need to turn into thriving. How are you going to grow? How are you going to develop yourself? How are you going to become better? Are you going to stay in the situation and just say, I was here, this is what happened to me? And in order for me to survive this situation, I had to stay to myself. In order for me to survive this situation, I had to push people away because I couldn't trust people. In order to survive this situation, I had to hoard things. In order to survive this situation, I had to You fill in the blank. What did you have to do in order to survive that situation? But just think about it. You're not in that situation. That situation has passed by. So now that situation has gone. What are you doing? Are you still stuck in, I need to survive? Are you still stuck in, I can't trust people? Are you still stuck in, I'm going to hoard these things? Are you still stuck in, my mindset is, what I have is what I have. I'm not going to try to accomplish any more. I am good where I am. Or do you want to be a thriving person where you want growth? You want to see growth in your life. You want to see a change in your life. You want to see more positive things going on in your life. You need to figure out where it is that you want to be and then determine how you're going to get there. So, people who transform hardship into platforms for helping others and personal breakthroughs are thriving. They move from the surviving and now they're thriving and they're helping other people to thrive as well. So that is one thing that I want you to think about. Now, we already stated that a fixed mindset keeps you in survival mode, focusing on just getting by, avoiding risk, and staying in old patterns. And a growth mindset fuels thriving, embracing challenges, learning from mistakes, and creating a fulfilling life. Now, I want you to do this activity. You don't have to do it now, but you can write it down. Write down, use two columns, what I survived, what I gained. What I survived, what I gained. So I want you to be able to write down what you survived, and out of that situation, what did you gain? And while you're doing that, you're going to be able to identify positive skills, strength, or insight that you had during that time. You're going to be able to identify positive skills and insight that you had during that time. Now, I'm going to also share this with you, and hopefully everybody can see it. Hopefully everyone can see it. It's a survivor versus thriver mindset chart. Now I'm checking to make sure everybody can see this chart. You want to be able to identify positive. Okay, somebody in the chat, let me know if you can see this chart. I would appreciate it. Okay, so now survivor mindset, thriver mindset. Those who are tuning in via WMEG, I'm going to read it out loud. So I'm not leaving you out. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you out. So we have survivor mindset. I made it through. Thriver mindset. I'm using this to grow. Then you have, thank you. Hey, thank you, Tanisha. Thank you for letting me know that you can see this. And then you have survivor mindset, focusing on past pains. Thriver mindset, focusing on future possibilities. So I want you to figure out which one are you, survivor or thriver, or where do you want to be? Survivor mindset sees self as a victim of circumstances. Thriver mindset sees self as the creator of new opportunities. That means you're growing, because if it's a new opportunity, that means you tried, you reached out there, you sought after this opportunity. You created this new opportunity for yourself. You made that change, that decision to change. Next one, survivor mindset. I'm just trying to get by. Thriver. I'm building a life of love. Survivor, driven by fear and avoidance. The driver is driven by purpose and intentions. So fear and avoidance, that means I'm staying in my bubble. I'm going to stay in my safe space. Purpose and intentions, guess what? We're stepping outside this box because there is more for me. So I hope these two comparison charts are helping you to identify where you are. Then we have survivor mindset. Holds on to wounds. Thriver, transform the wounds into wisdom. How do they transform the wounds? They're realizing what it was that hurt them, and then they're seeking how they can grow from that. That is what they're doing. Survivor mindset survives in silence. We talked about that last time. And then thriver mindset shares stories to inspire and connect. So they're not keeping what happened to them a secret, but they're letting other people know I was here and this is how I grew from this. This is how I moved forward. Then the last one says survivor mindset defines life by what happens to them, and thriver mindset defines life by what they see. Defines life by what they do with what happens to them. So they're not going to let that past keep them stagnated. And then, yes, some people are probably looking at it and like, this is easier said than done. And yes, it is. It is. You have to get to a place in your life where enough is enough. You have to get to a place where you want a change. Some people are comfortable where they are. So if that is you and you're comfortable where you are, that's who you are. But if you're that person who have been wrestling with yourself and you're wrestling with yourself and you just feel restless because you want to do something different, you want to be better, then this is what it is. You're shifting your mindset. And in order for you to shift that mindset, that means your thinking is changing. So those past thoughts that you had about yourself are changing. And now you want to do better. You want to go forward. So some people stay where they are, and some people, they want to be able to grow. They want to be able to prosper. They want to see a change in themselves. So I just want you to take what fits you and work on that. So then these are just some different tactics that identify if you're in a survivor mindset or if you're in a thriver mindset. Now, I'm not going to go through this next one in detail. It says fixed versus growth mindset and survivor and thriver. So remember, if you're in the fixed mindset, most of the time, you're still falling into the survivor category. If you're in the growth mindset, then you're falling into the thriver category. So instead of this is too hard, I can't handle it, you're saying this is tough, but, and see, I like that but I can learn and grow from it. So those are the two different mindsets. One is it's too hard, I just can't do it. The other one is it's hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to do it anyway. So that is the difference between fixed and surviving, growth and thriving. Okay, so now I want you all to, I just shared the strength mapping. This is what I downloaded, the activity that I downloaded. And we're just going to talk through this activity today. You can work through it as well, but we're going to talk through it. If you have downloaded it, then you can actually go through and work through it on your own if you want to. But the strength mapping is a visual exercise. It's a powerful visual exercise that helps you to see your inner resources, talents, and values that supports your journey from surviving to thriving. So this is what you need for the strength mapping. If you want to do it right now with us, all you have to do is create this web on a sheet of paper and draw a circle, put the word me in it. Then you're identifying the different categories. The different categories are personal qualities, skills and talents, relationships, values, experiences, resources, passions and interests, and dreams and goals. So if you're listening via WMEG and you want this worksheet, just go to the YouTube page, Empowering Others to Excel, or go to Facebook, Empowering Others to Excel, and it should be inside of the chat for today's live stream, and you can download the worksheet. It should be the strength mapping worksheet. It's going to be a list of the categories with examples, and then there are going to be some reflection questions that you have to answer. So if you want the downloadable one, it is there for you to get if you go to YouTube or if you go to Empowering Others to Excel on Facebook. Okay, so for those who are at home and you cannot see this, you're listening, draw a large circle in the middle of your page, write the word me inside of it. Around the circle, create 8 branches. So it's like a little spider web. Create the 8 branches. Label each branch with one of the following categories: personal qualities, skills, talents, relationships, values, experiences, resources, passions and interests, and dreams and goals. And then on the line, what I want you to do is to write down your personal strengths in each category. Write down your personal strengths in each category. And then when I'm saying your personal strengths, you're like, what's my personal strengths? For example, personal qualities. You can write down if you're resilient, creative, disciplined, compassion. If you're a nonchalant, procrastinator, write those things down on the line. We're looking for strengths, but write those things down on the line. For skills and talents, if you're a problem solver, you're a person who is organized, you're a great listener, you're a person who writes out things, or you're a writer, write that down for your skills and your talents. Good morning, Brianna. Next one, relationships, supportive family, encouraging mentor, loyal friend. Write down the relationships. Write down the relationships that are helping you to thrive, that are helping you to grow. They're your strength. Write those down. Values, honesty, growth, faith, justice, whatever your values are, write those down on the line. Experiences, you overcame loss, completed a degree, raised children, started a business, went to school. Whatever your experiences are, write that down. Got certified in something, write it down. Resources. What resources can you use to build up your strength? Education, access to books, community groups, faith and spiritual practices, church, religion, write it down. Passions and interests. What are your passions? What are your interests? Music, fitness, reading, teaching, helping others. What is it? Write it down. And then the last one is dreams and goals. What are your dreams? What are your goals? Becoming financially free, improving your health, starting a nonprofit, starting a for-profit. What are your dreams? Write it down. What are your goals? Write it down. So hopefully those who wanted to download that sheet, the worksheet, you did that. You can either be completing it with us, following along, or you can do it on your spare time. But this is just something that is helping you to identify your strengths. It's going to be able to help you to grow and to move from one level to another. And then after you do that, I want you to stop and ask yourself, what strengths help me to survive in my hard season? What strengths help me to survive in my hard season? What strengths can I now use to help me to thrive? And then what strengths do I want to develop further? So then ask yourself those 3 questions, answer those questions. Which strengths have helped me to survive my hard season? Which strengths can I grow? Can I use now to help me to thrive? And then what strengths do I want to develop further? Okay, so now you have that chart, and I just want you to be able to work on that in your personal time. But if there's somebody who wanted to share some of the things that you put on it, you can also share and we can go through it, especially if you need help identifying your strengths. You can also share that as well. But the whole purpose of today is to help you to be self-aware, to be able to see where you are, and then to help you to move forward. So what type of mindset do you have? Do you have a fixed mindset? Do you feel like you're stuck in a box and you're not going to move outside of that box for fear of failure, for fear of not being safe, whatever it may be? Or are you that individual who's wrestling with yourself because you want to be able to grow, you want to be able to move, but you just can't figure out what it is that you need to do to go to that next step or move to that next level? So those are 2 different mindsets. That means you're struggling. That's fixed mindset. When you want to stay where you are, you're staying put. Growth mindset is I want to move forward. I want to grow. So I need to put these things in action to help me to get to that place. So I want you to be able to identify those two things, and then you can move forward from there. Now, in order to move from the surviving to the thriving, you have to have a supportive group, a supportive network. You have to have those individuals who you can confide in, who you can confide in. And I am one to say that I do not have a large friend group. I don't have a large friend group. And at one point, I thought something was wrong with me. I honestly did. Because I was like, everybody else, they got like 10, 20 girlfriends and they got this, that, and the other. And I don't. I have I probably can, the ones who I talk to on the regular, I can count on one hand. I can count on one hand the ones who I talk to on a regular. And I do not share all of my information with everybody. I do not share all of my information with everybody. And it's not that I have a trust issue, but it's just the fact that I've come to know that there are people who are genuinely there for you. And then there are people who they profess or they say that they're for you, but once you start advancing, they're getting an attitude, or they're feeling some type of way because now all of a sudden you decided that you wanted to change, that you wanted to make better for yourself. And they're looking at you like something's wrong with you. And you're looking at them like, what's the problem? I'm just trying to grow. I'm trying to advance, but you want me to stay where I was and I'm not there anymore. So that's another thing as well. When you decide on like who your core group of friends are, they should be able to grow with you. That core group of friends should be able to grow with you. And then if somebody is struggling, you should be able to like go down, hey, I'm going to help you to get up here where we are. If they want to stay back when you first met them 20 years ago and they're still stuck in that same mindset and you're like, no, I'm advancing, then sad to say, some of those people have to drop off. They have to drop off because they're just going to continue to hold you back. Not saying you can't be friends with them, but they're just not the ones who are going to continue to push you and move you forward. Just like they always say, like unequally yoked. And what does that really mean? But if you're in the growing phase of your life, you need people who are growing too. You need people who are above your level, who can actually pour into you. And then it's okay to have some people who are on the same level where you are, because guess what? You all are going to grow together. And in the process of you growing together, you're going to celebrate each other. Why? Because you all have set a purpose. You have set a goal. You're trying to get to this particular level. You have shared it with that core group of friends. So they're going to be pushing you forward. When you have conversations, it's not always going to be about them. They're going to stop and be like, hey, you said that you took this new class. So how is that class going? Do you think it was beneficial? Is it something that I should take? What did you learn from it? They're going to be there encouraging you. They're going to be there motivating you, saying, I see that you wanted to get here, so I'm going to continue to push you forward there. Like, it might not be my cup of tea, but I'm going to support you in this. Those are the type of people that you need to have in this season of your life if you're trying to thrive, if you're trying to grow. If you have those individuals who are saying, you fine just the way you are, I understand why you need to do this, then I need you to just to think about that. Now, if it's something ridiculous and off the hinge, okay, yeah, you need that friend that's going to be like, stop. Don't say it. Don't kill yourself. But if it's something that's going to make a positive change in your life, an increase in your life, then you need those people who are in that corner supporting and rooting you. So that's why I only have my set core people that I talk to, that I share with, because I know for a fact, one of them, I can say, both of my sisters, I can say, they're going to sit there and they're going to question me. They're not just going to be like, oh, yeah, go ahead and do it. They're going to be like, first, wait a minute, what are you doing? Okay, now, what is the purpose of this? Because sometimes when I tell them things, I'm like, oh, like I ain't think this all the way through. And then sometimes I'm like, I'm still going to do this anyway. Like, yeah, I'm going to do this anyway. And they just be like, okay. But you need those people who are going to challenge you first. They're going to challenge you. So they're not actually putting you down, but they're just challenging your thought. They're thinking your thought process. They're challenging it. Like, okay, you said you want to do this. Why is it that you want to do this? What is this going to do? Is this going to bring joy to your life? Is it going to benefit you in some way? You need those people. You don't always need that amen corner. Yes, go ahead. No, help me think through this. Help me process this. Help me understand this. And then from after that, and talking with those individuals who you know have your back, then you can move forward with that. So today's session is basically just for you to identify where you are, where is your mindset? How can you change your mindset? How can you develop? How can you grow? How can you move forward? In order to do that, you need to have a support system. You need to be grateful on a daily basis. Be grateful for where you are, grateful for where you are going. Because if you get into a slump or it's just, I don't understand, I don't know what's going on, you're going to fall into depression. You're going to fall into depression. And then before you know it, you're going to be so deep in, it's going to be very hard to break that hold that's on top of you. So you need to be grateful every day. Wake up like, I thank you for this new opportunity. I thank you for this course in my life. I thank you for this change in my life. I'm going to walk through this with joy. I know it might not be easy every day, but I am going to continue to move forward. So be grateful. Set healthy boundaries. You must set healthy boundaries. Think about it. Set healthy boundaries that are going to help you to continue to go forward. Sometimes we decide I'm making a change, but then you start letting everybody into your space, and letting everybody into your space is not good. Or I'm making this change, and then you start spending frivolously. And now all of a sudden you're back to what was me, what happened, I don't understand. It wasn't for me. No, you didn't do the process correctly. So set healthy boundaries. Have creative outlets. Have creative outlets. Figure out how you're going to get out your frustrations. So that means, like, if you like to draw, if you like to write, you need to be able to have those outlets. So when the frustration comes, you can say, okay, I'm going to take this time out for me. I'm going to go sit and do this. If you're somebody who wants, you go and get your nails done, get your pedicure, manicure, and that is your outlet. That is how you relax. That's how you reset. You need to be able to have those things. So you need to have the creative outlets. You want to go paint, go paint. They have now where you can go throw the axe things. You need to go break something, go yell, go do it. But you need to have the outlets to release all of the stress, to reset your mind. And then you can come back to the table and continue to work on what it is that you need to do in order to grow. Mindfulness. Be mindful of your situations. Prayer. Pray. Be mindful, be praying. Yes, you need those things. Physical movement. Movement is good. Movement is good. I realize I need my sun. I have to have sun. So like if I go outside, especially because now like I'm in the house right now, so like I have to go outside. I'll go walk up and down the street, walk down the driveway. I have to have sun. It just revives me. And then that movement also just relieves the stress. So you need to figure out those things, have them in your toolbox, have them ready to pull out to be able to support you on this journey. So you need to have a support system, friends, therapy, support group, whoever it is, whatever it is. Practice daily gratitude, set healthy boundaries, creative outlets, mindfulness, prayer, physical movement. You need all of those things to be able to be consistent in this growth journey. Now, the one thing I want you to ask yourself, or the one thing I want you to complete, is a thriving action plan. 4-step thriving action plan. One thing I will stop doing. What is one thing that you will stop doing? Because now you're not surviving, you're thriving. What is one thing that you will stop doing? And when I say that, that means this one thing is hindering you in some way. So what is that one thing that you're going to stop doing? Identify it. One thing I will start doing. So what is one thing that you can start doing that's going to affirm you? That's going to give you that boost of energy that you need. That's going to give you that motivation that you need. What is that one thing that you're going to start doing? One thing I will continue to do. So what is it? One thing that you are already doing that works well for you. And when I say works well for you, that means it's not hindering you. It works well for you because you can already see the growth. So that means it might be something that you started and you're like, I'm taking it little by little by little, but it's working. So what is that one thing that you're going to continue to do? And then lastly, who will I share this plan with for accountability? who will I share this plan with for accountability? So one thing I will stop doing, one thing I will start doing, one thing I will continue to do, and then who will I share this plan with for accountability? You need an accountability partner. A lot of times you say, I can do this on my own. And yes, you can do it on your own, but then you're going to get to that place where you plateau. And you think, I've tried everything. I can't do it anymore. That's when you need that accountability partner saying, have you thought of everything? There's something that you didn't think of. There's something else you can do in this situation. So let's sit and let's talk this out. Let's create a plan. Let's pray about it. You need that accountability partner, because when you get to those places, when you're stuck, they're there. They already understand what it is that you want to do. And they're there and they're going to assist you in some form or fashion. They're going to assist you. They might have one of the things that you're weak in, that might be their strength, so they can assist you. So you need to get an accountability partner, somebody that you can trust, somebody that's going to help you to get to your desired destination. So that is what I also want you to think about. So I want you to put those plans in action. For this thriving action plan, do it, do it, do it, do it. One thing I will stop doing, one thing I will start doing, one thing I will continue to do, and who is going to be your accountability partner. Now, I want you to think about this. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by the strength you built because of it. You're not defined by what happened to you. At one point, yes, you labeled that, and that is what you wore. That was your label. It was on you. But that is not anymore, because you're changing from the survivor to the thriver. So now you're going to be defined by the strength that you've built because of it. So now you're going to get a new name. You want to have a new label on you. So it's not going to be defeated. So when people look at you, they're not going to see defeated. They're going to look at you and say, conqueror, overcomer. They're going to say perseverance. So that is what I want you to think about. You are not defined by what happened to you, but you're defined by the strength you built because of it. Now, I hope this session was helpful for you today. I hope this session was helpful for you today. I hope you were able to identify what mindset you had. Did you have a fixed mindset, which meant you were still in the surviving mode? Or do you have a growth mindset, meaning you were moving towards thriving? You are thriving. I want you to think about that. I hope that you were able to become more aware of yourself today. I want you all to do the strength mapping. I want you to sit down and take some time to do the strength mapping. So once again, if you have not downloaded the strength mapping, go to the YouTube page, Empowering Others to Excel. Go to Facebook page, Empowering Others to Excel. Download it. It is in the link. Download the mapping. I want you to complete it. Identify all of your strengths in all of the different categories. After you identify your strengths in the different categories, I want you to work through those reflection questions. I want you to work through those reflection questions. And then I want you to stop and think, what is one thing that I want to grow in? What is the one thing I want to grow in? And then I want you to start putting some plans in action, so that way that you can see that growth. And guess what? If you need some help with that, I am here to assist you. First of all, you see me every Saturday, 9 to 10 o'clock. I am here to assist you. But also, if you would like, you can also schedule an independent session with me. You can just email me at jacquelineJobes@eoechangeagent.com and say, hey, we need to talk. I need to talk to you about some things. When can we schedule a time to talk? And I am here for you for that. You can visit my website, www.eoechangeagent.com. And there should be some useful sessions on there that may be helpful for you. And we can schedule those. If you know of an organization who wants a life coach to come and talk to their participants at their workspace, or if it's a school and they need some mentoring, hey, you can let them know, I know somebody who is great for this. Empowering others to exchange. I can't even get it out. I need to get it right. Empower others to excel. Jacqueline Jobes, have you heard of her? Go check out her page. Send them my way. I would greatly appreciate it. Send them my way. So once again, I'm going to give out my information. www.eoechangeagent.com is the website. You can also continue to follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I am there. I am dropping nuggets, helping you all to move, to grow, because I want to see a change in you, just like I am trying to change myself every day for the better. I want the more for myself. I want the more for my family. I want the more for the people around me. This is why I do what it is that I do, because if I can help you in some way, I want to be there for you to help you. So once again, I thank you for tuning in to WMEG. I thank you for tuning in to YouTube and Facebook. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed. And until next time, I want you to identify your strengths, work on those strengths, and I want you to grow and excel. For those who are tuning in on WMEG, coming up next is Nikki with the pros and cons of human nature. I want you to stay tuned because she has awesome topics. So I want you to stay tuned for them. For those who are on Facebook and Instagram, I will see you when I see you. Until next time, be blessed.
Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Jobes. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Jobes. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Jobes.